Saw dudes, Chad Kackis here. Dude, thank you so much for stopping by. And today we are going to be discussing the latest kerfuffle within the Destiny 2 community. The latest and newest Iron Banner, the first one for Season of the Hunt, has been officially announced. And it did not go over well. The Twitter community was not happy, and I saw a ton of negativity towards this event. So, what the heck happened? Why are people upset? Well, that's the topic for today's video, and so let's get started. Now, the announcement for this Iron Banner happened on Thursday with the This Week at Bungie update, and it detailed quite a few things, including a Mask of Bacchus nerf, or I shouldn't call it that. I actually got a lot of dislikes for calling it that. What's actually happening is that right now, it can deal bonus damage in PvP if you shift and slow enemies, which is a huge advantage. It lets 120 hand cannons 2-tap if you do that. Well, that's getting removed, so it's getting undeniably worse after a patch, which most of us would have just called a nerf. I guess I should have titled the video, Mask of Bacchus gets feature removed, making it undeniably worse after patch. Most people would call this a nerf, but maybe this video is pointless because people do love to complain. Anyways, there is some real legitimate concern around this Iron Banner because it is nearly featureless. And I'm talking, there is almost no additions to this Iron Banner. There's a slight one that we'll talk about, but this is supposed to be the first Iron Banner after a major fall expansion. So what people have obviously done is go back and look at the other fall expansions within Destiny 2 and look at what happened to the Iron Banners around those times. Remember, Iron Banner is one of the bigger events for PvP. There's a lot of things always happening within PvE. There's, new quests happening that roll in and out. Right now we have different farming methods, different strategies, a ton of rotating things. PvP doesn't necessarily have that. And so when something like Iron Banner rolls around, PvP players are really looking to that as an injection of new content and new loot. And this is right now especially exasperated by Trials of Osiris being delayed all the way to the 18th of December. Yeah, that just came out from Bungie Help. So, somewhat unfortunately, Iron Banner had a lot more attention this time around to offer that content injection into PvP. And it just didn't. So, Iron Banner this time is adding 2 new weapons, a hand cannon and a scout rifle. Now, the word new is kind of up for debate. We'll talk about that more later on, but both of these weapons are reprisals from the original Destiny 2 loot pool. So they're year 1 weapons that are getting new random rolls this time around. So they're not technically fully new guns. A lot of people view these as just reskins and don't view them as a true new addition. And this is really not what longtime players expect to be included in Iron Banner after a full-fledged $40 fall expansion, because let's look backwards at what previous Iron Banners after fall expansions were like. Well, we have the Taken King, the first major Destiny 1 fall expansion that added to Iron Banner the following weapons: the Ashraven's Flight Fusion Rifle, the Bredemart's Stand Machine Gun, the Covalence's Duty Scout Rifle, the Dedris's Retort Shotgun, the Philana's Peril Hand Cannon, the Hakon's Hatchet Auto Rifle, the Iron Wreath D Sidearm, the Nerwin's Mercy Pulse Rifle, the Tormund's Bellows Rocket Launcher, and the Wayloran's March Snipe Rifle. Guys, in total, that is 10 weapons. So 10 brand new Iron Banner weapons, all available to chase after the Taken King. Oh, and there was new armor sets as well. But moving on from there, the next major fall expansion within Destiny 1 was the Rise of Iron. Now this specifically had to do with Iron Lords, so you would expect a big tie-in with Iron Banner, and you'd be correct. So the weapons added to that Iron Banner loot pool were the Blinding Blaze Sidearm, the Branded Lord Fusion Rifle, the Clever Dragon Pulse Rifle, the Distant Star Scout Rifle, the Laughing Heart Sniper Rifle, the Lingering Song Hand Cannon, the Proud Spire shotgun, the Silvered Dread machine gun, the Titanium Orchard rocket launcher, and the Unbent Tree auto rifle. Again, that is 10 weapons added to Iron Banner. But of course, from there we move on to Destiny 2, and we did have a whole new Iron Banner loot pool for the launch of Destiny 2, but then we have that next fall expansion, which would be Forsaken. So, the new Iron Banner weapons added with Forsaken are the Talons of the Eagle Scout Rifle, the Claws of the Wolf Pulse Rifle, the Breath of the Dragon Machine Gun, the Bite of the Fox Sniper Rifle, the Swarm of the Raven Grenade Launcher, and the Roar of the Bear rocket launcher. Now that is only going to be 6 weapons. Not quite the 10 of expansions past, but still certainly a big amount of new loot to chase. But then the next fall expansion is Shadowkeep, and there the trend ends. No new Iron Banner weapons were added, it was just the continuation of the loot pool from Forsaken, and then from there we see small ejections of 2 Year 1 Iron Banner weapons remade with random rolls for the different seasons. Sometimes I think it was just one weapon brought up. So slowly the original loot pool for Destiny 2 launch is being reprised and is added to the loot pool with random rolls. And that's again exactly what we see here, but unfortunately, like, this was also happening during $10 seasons. We would get like 2 reprised Iron Banner weapons, not during a full-priced fall expansion. And so obviously when people look at this loot and look at how sharply it has dropped off for Iron Banner, people are getting upset, especially because Shadowkeep you could somewhat excuse because that was lesser price. That was only $35, whereas Beyond Light is the full $40. And I mean, even just making this video and looking back at the sheer amount of weapons added with these major expansions and meta-changing weapons as well. I mean, the Clever Dragon, iconic and incredible weapon. So we have just a huge fall off in the amount of content coming with these Iron Banners, and this is again a pretty severe impact on PvP, especially because you don't have any vendor refreshes in PvP. I think they added like 1 new pulse rifle you can get now within the Crucible, but that's it. So if you are grinding that PvP content, what new loot do you have to go for? Almost nothing. Now, I will say in slight defense, I don't exactly think bringing Year 1 weapons forward is the worst thing. It certainly saves a lot of time because you already have these models in the game, and they basically act like new weapons because the difference between a Year 1 static roll and a Year, 4 in this case, random roll is substantially different, and they did make some of these weapons spawn with some of the new perks added just this season. So I don't think bringing those forward is as bad as people are making it seem. I don't think they don't count as new weapons, but even if they do count as new weapons, that's only 2 new Iron Banner weapons compared to literally 10 we've had before. And while, of course, we're all aware that this is a new challenge for Bungie because they're independent now, they don't have the resources that they had under Activision, I think it's also fair to say that Bungie needs to potentially change how they are prioritizing this content, and they need to have more focus for these evergreen activities. Iron Banner is always here. It is always coming. Every single season, Iron Banner is here. We have to focus on activities like that. We have to have yearly loot refreshes that are substantially changing the loot pool, because you can't let an activity like this stagnate if you're going to use it as a special event for literally the entire history of Destiny 2. And 1, frankly. Or perhaps the strategy needs to be to have seasons that revolve around these evergreen activities, instead of adding a new activity that kind of comes and goes, or one like Wraithborn Hunts that feels extremely shallow and no one cares about. Focus the entire season on improving one aspect of the game. So focus a season around Iron Banner. So you have double the Iron Banners as normal, you have a whole new Iron Banner loot pool. It's all about Iron Banner. I know some people watching might not like Iron Banner, but the benefit to the game, if you have a whole season that injects all of this content, all of these rewards that are then divvied out through the rest of the year as Iron Banner keeps arriving and going, the benefits to the game are substantial if you do something like that. Regardless, adding 2 reprised weapons after a major $40 and plus $10 if you bought the season expansion is really not going to cut it anymore for the community, I believe, and people are rightfully a little bit peeved. So guys, that is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.